I'm Deborah from DeborahAdele's Craft Room. Today we're going to be painting a witch. Pretty big gourd. I hope I don't have trouble getting it in the screen. So let's get started.
These are the products that we'll be using for this project. They are Americana acrylic paints by DecoArt. The colors are olive green, reindeer moss green, light buttermilk, red iron oxide, pansy lavender, toffee, graphite, Santa red, lamp black, Victorian blue, spiced pumpkin, spicy mustard, and in the Dazzling metallics, Emperor's Gold. We'll also use DuraClear gloss varnish when the project is complete.
The first thing we do, as always, is to find the center of the gourd on the best side. I cut out some templates here to use. Once you find the center of the gourd, I put a mark here. I've already done a little drawing, but I'm going to show you how I did it. I cut out this piece of paper here. It's a cardstock. This is so that you can get the same distance from center for the cape. You draw a circle. You draw this circle right here, which is the knot of the cape, and you put this, bring this down to the center, and you draw around. This is a different size than the cape I have on here now. And you just draw down just till it turns so that you can have the same distance from here to here. Okay. All right. I'm making mine a little bit wider than the template because my gourd is so big. You can adjust that to the size of your gourd. Okay, now I'm bringing the lines down. This is going to be my line here. This. And then you swing it around to the back. And you find the center of the back and you draw this. It looks like a widow's peak. Take this around here. See if we can. Okay. That is that's the cape. Then you bring the cape up like this and wrap it, you see that? Wrap it around the neck. You see that? Okay. And then just below the knot, you make two little ends, the tie, you make the tie. Okay. That's where we start. We'll start painting now and add some other things later. I'm gonna just take a look at this and see if I goofed it up when I was adjusting. Nope, looks pretty good. This is the dress, and underneath will be the dress, and then the whole back is the cape. The first thing I'm going to do is to paint the face. This is what the face, the whole head. We painted the whole head. This is Toffee. If you want to paint the skin green, I would recommend Reindeer moss green. That's the same color I painted Frankenstein's monster. There's also a wasabi green. That might be all right. But you can do that if you want. Any green you want, but those are the colors I would recommend. Okay, next I'm going to paint the dress Pansy Lavender. First I'm going to go up into the corners of the cape here. Okay, I put 2 coats on. This is what it looks like here. And then in the back, it's got a little point there. And I have to wait for it to dry so I can handle it when I paint the cape. Okay, now I'm going to paint the cape black. Okay, so far I have painted the dress twice, 2 coats, the cape with 1 coat. I'll put another coat on that later. I'm just anxious to get started on the hands. And I painted the head Toffee, but I painted a 2nd coat just on the face. The back's going to be covered with hair, and I don't think it's necessary to do a 2nd coat on that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the hands and the sleeves. I have some templates that I cut out. Kind of silly looking, but this is going to be the sleeve. Going to come onto the side here. And I cut out 2 of these at the same time. These are hands. So this is the pinky over here. This is the thumb. And what it'll do is it will, here we go, it will hang out of the hand like that while we do this. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to place the hand first. Here's the thumb, like this. This might be too big, I don't know. Let me see. No, I think it's fine. Okay, we get our pencil. It doesn't matter how far, well, it does matter a little bit, but how far it is from the cape, because we can move the sleeve out to here over the, you know, over the top of it. You see how that looks here? So it doesn't look like it's too, you know, too far in. Okay, here we go. Pencil. I'm going to set this down here like this. And I'm going to go around. It doesn't have to be solid, the line. If you skip a little bit or something, you just have to get an idea where it is. So I'm going to go around carefully, trying not to bend the fingers so that they look, you know, look like they're in the wrong place. I used to make hands that look like the Santa hands, where they're just a round cup thing. But then some lady told me that they look like women's breasts. So I stopped doing that. Okay, you can put one down a little lower if you want, like this. I think I'm gonna, yeah, mix it up a little bit so that one hand is up and one hand is down. That way we can put something in the hand that's down, like a spider, or put something in the hand that's up, like a magic wand or something. Okay, so I hope you can see these. One hand here and one hand there. Now we're going to take the sleeve, put it up against the, we'll put it so the hand is up higher so that the gravity has pulled the rest of the sleeve down. And go around. I will make a template again if anybody wants any of these. Okay, you see how that is now? The hand is inside of it, but that's okay because it just looks like part of the hand is sticking out instead of the whole hand. Now I'm going to do this, do it again. Let's see. All right. Okay, now bring the rest of the sleeve up to underneath the cape. See how that looks? And do the same thing over here, underneath the cape and underneath the cape. Okay? Now we know the hands are the same size and the sleeves are the same size. Pretty hard to get something the same size when you're working on a big gourd like this. So you have to go like this back and forth and it's hard to see. So I'm going to paint over the hand that's up inside the sleeve. The wrists, I'm going to paint over those with the Pansy Lavender. Make them disappear. Okay. After it dries, if you can still see the pencil, you'll want to go over it again. Okay, so now I'm going to do the hands with Toffee. I'll be using my number 3 round for this. Try to stay right on the line so that the graphite goes away, but you don't make the hand any bigger. Here's the thumb. Okay, I have the hands painted in. I double coated them. And now I'm going to line the sleeve. Okay, we're going to have to line the fingers also. Probably best to do it before you shade because going around those curves is a little hard to do. And you'll probably have to touch up the shading if you do the shading first. Okay, I got them all touched up, the hands, and lined, and now I'm ready to shade the hands. Wet your brush, touch it down. I have a really small, I don't know what number this is. It's a number 2. And you just go around the fingers. Go around the side, one side of each finger, so that you don't run into the wet shading with more shading. Okay, now I'm going to do the other hand. You see how much I'm putting on there? I don't even know if you can see it or not. Just a tiny little poke of paint. Okay, we're gonna go back to the other hand now. And I'm shading the other side of each finger. This hand is done. Okay, the hands are shaded, and now I'm going to put some fingernails on this witch. I'm using olive green for the fingernails, and for the thumb, we're going to be looking at it sideways. That way the thumb will look, you know, right instead of funny like a big old fat hand. You see that? Okay, okay. The fingernails are done. If you think they need a second coat, you just go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to shade the sleeves. I'm going to shade the neckline of this, of the witch now. I'm only going to go about halfway to the back because the hair is going to come down onto the cape, so it'll cover it. to place the face, you have to put the witch's hat on. Here we go. Here's a witch's face. I'm going to try to tilt this hat back a little bit so it's not down so far, because I could push it all the way down, but then you won't be able to see her face. Okay, so now with the hat on, I'm going to draw the nose. And it's going to be just a big oval. I want it to be big because I'm going to put a wart on it, and we'll need enough room for the wart. Okay. Let's see if I can get this in the camera. There you go. Now I'm going to take the hat off because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to do eyes off to the side because I don't want them to go up too high under the hat. I'll show them to you in just a second. Okay, these are the eyes, far apart. And we'll do the mouth with the paintbrush instead of drawing it. Okay, I'm going to work on these for just a second now. Here, I'll go like this with the Toffee. You want to cover all those pencil lines up that are inside the nose and outside too. And then we're going to work on the eyes while this dries. Okay, I'm going to paint the bottom of the eyes black. See that? Or it's all too bright, isn't it? All right, now I'm going to use Reindeer green, Reindeer moss green, and I'm going to paint the eyelids. We're doing these like the reindeer, Rudolph's eyes with an eyelid, except for this time we're putting a color on it. You're going to have to line around the top of the lid. I lined the nose. The eyes are all touched up, so I lined the nose, and then I put that wart on there. And now I'm going to fill in that wart so that it there's the wart. I'm going to let that dry for a minute. Work on the eyes for a second. Now I'm going to put the eyelashes on this witch's eyes. We're going to do it the same way we did the reindeer. See if I can do it so you can watch. Okay, go straight across and bring an eyelash up. And then I'm going to do another one, except for end sooner. There's another one. And I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to end it right on the eyelid. Okay, there you go. 3 of them. Now I'm going to do it again over here. Hopefully they'll look similar. Now we're going to do the eyebrows. I don't know if we'll be able to see them for the hat, but just in case. Okay, there you go. Eyebrows, eyelashes, nose. I'm going to put another coat of paint on the wart because you can see that line through it. Okay. Okay, I put the white of the eyes on each side. The pupil part of the eye is going to go right to the bottom. So I'm going to get some black and fill it in. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's just got a little bit of white on each side now. Okay. One more. The eyes are done. They look a little sleepy. I'm going to perk them up just a little bit. Needs to be shaded with the red iron oxide. Tiny bit. Shade the wart separately. Now, I've never seen a witch's wart without a couple of hairs hanging out of it. So I'm going to put a couple of hairs on the wart. There you go. Now we're going to step away from the face for a little bit. Now we're going to shade all around the cape. Now I'm going to line the bow and the knot with graphite. It looks, you can hardly see it, but it's worth it. I'm doing some lines that look like fold marks in the bow. Okay. And then I'll do some up here, the sides of the bow, or the sides of the cape, I mean. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to do the mouth. Before I finish the mouth, I'm going to put some blush on these cheeks. Get a scruffy brush. I always forget to put the cheeks on till I get to the smile lines here, and then I think, uh-oh, no cheeks. Now I'm going to put some lips on her. These are going to be bright red, Santa red lips. I might put a little more black on the inside to open the mouth a little more because I want to put a tooth in there. Beauty mark. Isn't that nice? While the lips are drying, I'm going to shade the eyelids. I have Victorian Blue here. It's kind of a teal color. Oh, that's so pretty. There you go. Okay. I don't know if how well you can see that. There it is. Now I'm going to work on the lips a little more. I open the mouth a little bit more so I could put a tooth in there. I'm going to get the light buttermilk and put one tooth in. There we go. Isn't she beautiful? I don't like how those two little hairs look, so I'm going to do them again. Covering up the hairs. I'll have to wait now. I'm going to leave that nose alone for a minute and I'm going to work on her hair. Okay, I'm going to be using red iron oxide for her hair. I have a number 5 round brush here, and what I'm going to do is dip it into this paint, set it down here, and pull up. Okay. This is sort of how we did the elf hair, except for we're putting a lot more hair on this witch than we put on the elf. You go for a new dip every time you do a stroke. You want it to be thick so that it looks like it's on top of her head instead of just painted on. See how I did that? I'm bringing it around the front of her face like a little page boy kind of look. The most important part of this stroke is the bottom. If you have to smooth it out when you come up, that's fine, because most of this is going to be under a hat. I think I'm going to start over here now. There we go. Now, just in case the hat ever pops off or something, make sure you do the stem and everything. Okay. take a look at it. See if you got the sides even. If they're both the same. You want it to be both on the face the same way, which I, of course, didn't. That's my MO. Do it wrong and then do it right. Okay. Okay. Pretty close. Pretty close. Okay, here she goes. There she is. That hair is going to take a good long time to dry. So we're going to do some adorning to her dress. Here she is. There she is. Pretty as a picture. Now we're going to go back to the wart before we do the dress. Work on the dress. Here we go. Now I'm going to start the hair on the wart instead of off the wart like I did last time. There we go. I think that's better. Okay. Alrighty, now we're going to work on the dress. We're going to put flowers all over her dress. Dip dot flowers. Okay, let's see if I'm using spiced pumpkin for the centers. And we're going to place all the centers first. And I'm going to start right here with one dot. And then I'm going to go up here. They're going to be scattered quite a long distance from each other, so okay. Now I'm going to put one here near her hands, and then one down lower under her hands, because you know this one is higher. This hand is higher. And then the secret to placing polka dots right is to put them in squares. Here's one there. And then here's one here. Way over. And it looks like the number 5 on a die. Okay, there's one there. See how that's starting to look like a 5 a little bit? Ooh, don't touch the hair, whatever you do. Okay, now down here, put one. Over here, you start putting them close together. Closer together as the gourd comes in. Okay, now I'm going to put 2 of them on the sleeves. Okay. And then we're going to stop, because you can't do the bottom at the same time you're doing the rest. It'll be too difficult. Now, I think I've decided on spicy mustard to go around them. If you want, you can just leave it polka dotted like this. But I want to show you how to do a flower, so I'm going to do these. Okay, I have spicy mustard. And I'm going to dip and then put a dot. These are pretty big flowers because the gourd is big. Use a smaller dot if you have a smaller gourd. Okay, there's one flower. Let me get it so I'm not. Alright, now you do that around every single flower or every single orange dot. Five petals around each flower. Okay, I have all the flowers done that have the dots so far. I am going to finish them later underneath and around the back. But for right now I'm going to do the next step. I just love this olive green. It's a new color to me. So I'm going to put little leaves on each side. See how that looks? Okay, now with the Emperor's Gold, I'm going to put rings on her. I'm going to put a gold band over here. On her ring finger. In the other hand, I'm going to put a gold band on her middle finger. I think she's pretty much done. I just set the hat on because the hair is still wet. And I think I will glue it after she's varnished. Okay, now I'm going to show you what else I did. Well, I put a blue dot. It's the same color as I shaded her eyes. Let me see what color that was. Victorian Blue. I put a little, it's like a sapphire. And I put some lines on the gold of the ring. And the other one, I put lines on that too. And you see there's a spider. I brought the line straight down. It's graphite, that's the color. And then there's the spider. It's a little oval with 4 legs on each side and then dip-dot eyes. The spider is in the black. So anyway, I'll be finishing the flowers on the bottom after the video's done. And I think she's beautiful. Maybe I'll even put a necklace on her. Well, thank you very much for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so that you get notifications of future videos. Bye-bye now. As I was editing the video last night, I kept thinking about the witch and the necklace. So I put some white dip dots across. The half dip dot I painted in with a fine liner brush. And then I decided to line her fingernails instead of just leaving them. I also finished the bottom of all of the flowers. I added the flowers to the bottom. So there you go. Our little witch is done. So I'm going to add this to the end of the video because these are things you might want to do to your witch. I do like those fingernails lined though. They look much better. Okay, there's our little witch, ready for a night on the town.